Hi, I'm Chart Gal Lori. I'm part of the Chart Guys community. We teach technical analysis. I've been a trader and technical analyst for the last 8.5 years. I'm going to bring you a market recap for Wednesday, August 21st. This is who I am. I'm Chart Gal Lori. If you want to give me a follow on X, that would be lovely. So our heat map today, we had some of our bigger players were red: Microsoft, Apple, Google. Meta was green, Amazon was green. We had another very low volume day. So we had whippy action. It's the best word that I could use to describe what we saw today. It was very whippy. So tomorrow we have Jackson Hole Symposium starting, jobless claims, and we have Fed Chair Powell speaking on Friday. Don't forget about that. All right, let's look at charts, our favorite thing to do. Starting with ES. So on ES, we confirmed the daily bull flag. Yesterday, we got a higher high. Today, we got a higher high. And you look at it on SPY, we're closing with an outside bar. We had a really big movement day. But again, let's look at the volume. 35 million. This is about 60% of normal volume. Let's look at QQQ. A little bit more than yesterday. QQQ was lower than yesterday. We're at about 50% volume. We have Zoom and Snow earnings after hours. Those should be volatile. Just want to point out that we have a double top on QQQ with the high from July 23rd. So that high was 484.43, and we have a double top 484.37. Just something to keep in mind. But we will continue to preach this. Bulls don't need to bring the volume to melt up price in a bull market. Bears have to bring the volume in order to bring down price in a bear market. And the 4-hour 12 EMA, as long as that is support, that remains our spirit guide, and we don't have to look at anything else. It's always nice to look at other factors, other variables, other data points. However, if you want to keep it simple, as long as that 4-hour 12 EMA is below price, bulls are large and in charge. NASDAQ, bulls are large and in charge. We do have that QQQ double top to just keep in mind. RTY had a great bounce. We were unable to get through the high of yesterday, 2187. I could make an argument that this is still a potential 4-hour head and shoulders, but the bulls really outperformed today. This morning they were looking pretty weak, and they really turned on the jets. Some of the weaker stocks were performing along with crypto stocks. That was a little bit of a sea change than what we've been seeing. The Dow is slightly green. 4-hour 12 EMA is support. Daily potential bull flag, we got a higher high by $12. I would say that's a double top for now, but this still looks like a daily bull flag. There's nothing bearish about this chart at the moment. Now we could flip to the weekly and we could make an argument that we do have some bearish things on these large indices charts. We're looking for these weekly potential lower highs, but at this rate with the squeezes and lower volume melt ups, the bears really have a headwind in order to stop the bulls. VIX was green today. We had a little bit of hedging. We opened up this morning with a 4-hour higher high. We have continuation. We ran into the 26 EMA, but we have plenty of room for a 4-hour higher low. We'll see if this can somehow stop the bulls overnight, getting that 4-hour higher low, or do we just drift down as fear exits the building? Bitcoin, what a recovery. So Bitcoin, I've been watching these rejections at the daily 50 EMA. That's the yellow line. That's the simple moving average. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this is the 7th attempt to get over it. And it looks like it's getting over it. We do have a squeeze here. And we're getting over the daily 50 RSI as well, which can act as synthetic resistance. We have made plenty of room for an hourly higher low. And we've made plenty of room for a 4-hour higher low and a pullback. Crypto bulls have turned things around on their head today. Ethereum has not been able to get over 2697.11. Let's look at it on the 12-hour for some clarity. Yeah, we don't have a 12-hour lower high yet. We need to get through 2700, where Bitcoin did get the 12-hour higher high. Dollar has continued to melt down. We have potential hourly bear flag. We are looking for a monthly higher low compared to $100.61. We're getting close to that level, and we'll see if maybe Powell's comments have some impact on the dollar, or maybe jobless claims have some impact on the dollar, but it has been in an absolute free fall. We are in daily oversold conditions looking for a monthly higher low, which is typically where we begin scouting that. but bulls have given us no reason to do that. Dollar, let's see. Potential 12-hour bull flag, I'll call it that. On the daily though, that is that upper wick. I don't want to take that liberty of calling that a daily bull flag, but on the 12-hour, I would say we have a potential bull flag. Don't like this elevated bear volume here, but gold bulls have been doing just fine in light of dollar weakness. Oil melted down today with inventory. We are still looking for the daily higher low compared to $70.50. 4-hour got oversold back here, and it didn't mark that the daily higher low. Let's look at it on the 8-hour. 8 hours not quite oversold. So the closer we can get to $70.50, I like that asymmetric risk to reward trade idea of looking for a potential daily higher low compared to $70.50 on oil. Because if we're wrong, we'll stop out quick, and if we're right, we have some decent upside reward potential. But bears would be looking for a daily lower high on a bounce. Oil is weak. Semis up 1%. We close with a potential daily bull flag. We got over the prior day high, but we're struggling with the daily 50 MA overhead on semis. We need to keep that in mind tomorrow. That could continue to come into play. NVDA closed with a double daily inside bar. This is a potential daily bull flag, and we have earnings next Wednesday. Dips just continue to get bought on NVIDIA with earnings next Wednesday. We just have to keep that in mind, that we've got some hungry hippo bulls out there that want to be a part of this if we get a run into earnings. Apple closed red. We did get over the prior day high, and then we broke the low. We closed with an outside bar. Very whippy action. Look at the volume. 60% of the average volume. When we have low volume days like this, you can get that whippy action. It provides for decent range, but it's also a little bit less predictable. Not that the market is predictable, but we can align probabilities, and it's harder to align probabilities in more likely scenarios in environments when you have lower volume. Tesla closed green. We did break the prior day low, so we did have a daily stair step bear break without a lot of follow through, still holding the key daily moving averages. Matter of fact, we could be forming a daily bull flag here. We'll have to see. And if we want to look pretty far ahead into the future, we could say that this could be the beginning of a daily inverse head and shoulders, which the bulls would love that. All right, XLF. XLF was unable to get through the all-time high, 44.11, quick rejection, and broke the low of day. XLF really weighed down the market early on. We have a double top, well, actually a triple top now up here at the all-time high, 44.02, 44.11, and 44.11, but I would still make an argument that this is a pretty bullish formation. With the long lower wick of bulls buying the dip, this could be a daily bull flag. Healthcare was unable to get a new all-time high. Yesterday we got a new all-time high of 155.21. We got within 13 cents of that today, and we were unable to break it. We're closing with an hourly EQ. That'll make tomorrow interesting to see if we can get some bull continuation. Volume on here, about 70% of average volume. Not terribly low, but not anything to run home to mom about. ASTS had another run today, a pretty big pullback, providing a lot of volatility. This is a really volatile chart with, what is the ATR? Let's look at it. What is the average true range here? So on the daily, it's the average true range right now is $4. It's moving $4 a day on average. Of course, I don't expect for it to stay up that high. It just shows you how much of a volatile stock it is, and it is my recommendation that if you're a newer trader, I would avoid names like this that have a lot of movement. Coin, we closed the day with an inside bar, but up 4.5%. I think the bulls will take it. They had a good day. They were vibing with Bitcoin and its bull push up, unable to get through yesterday's high. So tomorrow could start out something like this, where we look for that lower high compared to yesterday's high, and look for a pullback buy for an hourly higher low to get in on this bullishness. It's provided enough room for that. Mara was able to get through the prior day high. We had resistance here of 1780 and we double topped at 1765. So we have 15-cent double top here on Mara to be aware of. Nice curl up of RSI. Nice increasing bull volume. And tomorrow we could look for a pullback buy on Mara as well. Plenty of room for an hourly and 4-hour higher low. DJT had some volatility today. It had a spike into the end of day when Robert Kennedy Jr. announced that he will be withdrawing from the presidency, and then he later went on to say that he would be endorsing Trump, and then that made a push on DJT. This is still a stock in a very, very large downtrend on the weekly, and on the daily, the 4-hour has made enough room for a higher low. AMC, I just wanted to point out how tight this is. If you are a small cap trader, I think you have some incoming potential here for a trade on AMC. I'm not predicting the direction that it will break. I'm just saying we have incoming volatility. This is getting extremely tight. Pressure is building. Snow, what are they doing on earnings? They're dropping. Zoom is popping. So I just wanted to look at those two and keep them on my list in case they were extreme while I was going over the market recap. And then finally, we had our monkeypox names. We had the first monkeypox case from 2022 confirmed today, and that made names like SIGA run into the end of day. They did not halt, I don't think. GovX did halt prior to the end of day, and VRAX did halt before the end of day. So I would anticipate continued volatility in these three names as monkeypox headlines continue to get thrown around. So speaking of being thrown around, don't get thrown around in this low volume environment. Stay true to your price action levels and wait for the setup to come to you. Don't force it. We see this typically before Labor Day, and then after Labor Day, the big MMs come back from the Hamptons and summer holidays, and then our volume picks back up typically. So we'll see if that happens. So don't get caught up in too much chop and use stop losses.